The Kooks 1 3/4 inch long tube header should appeal to the 2011 through 2014 GT owners out there looking to grab one of the nicest long tubes in the category and would prefer that slightly smaller 1 3/4 inch primary to the slightly larger 1 7/8 inch version. Now the Kooks headers will not include a shorty mid pipe, so interested buyers will need to consider adding one of the options here on the site from Kooks, their catted or off-road X pipe to complete the package. Now by themselves, the headers here are gonna run you right around $1,000, and the install of course is gonna get a knuckle busting 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter from me, with a little bit more detail to follow later in the video. Now speaking of making power, ideally I would always recommend pairing these long tubes up with a custom tune to help you maximize your gains for one, but even more importantly, if you do ultimately decide to go with one of those off-road mid pipes, you'll inevitably be looking at the check engine light once those secondary O2 sensors realize there's no longer any catalytic converters in place. But going back to that 1 3/4 inch primary size, again, one of your most common diameters in the Coyote aftermarket, along with those 1 7/8 inch options that you see a lot in the category as well. And listen guys, at the end of the day, both are gonna make awesome power over those restrictive factory manifolds that you will be replacing. But conventional wisdom might tell you that the smaller diameter primary will make slightly better torque at a lower RPM, but maybe be more of a restriction in the upper RPM range, especially as big power starts to come on. And I will say the difference is gonna be negligible for most owners out there and most setups. However, if you plan on making large power through a blower or something like that, I would probably steer you towards that larger primary, like a 1 7/8 inch option for instance. But again, both are gonna make awesome power at the end of the day. Power aside, another big draw with adding long tubes is the total transformation of your exhaust tone and volume. Just a real angry tone with a lot more volume is the best way I can describe it. Now ultimately guys, your mid pipe will help shape the sound of the exhaust along with whether or not you add cats into the equation or if you go off-road, but either way, just know that things are gonna be noticeably louder with the long tubes in place. But let's dive into the Kooks headers that we have in this video, and again, just superb quality from the gang down there at Kooks. Premium grade 304 stainless steel throughout, mandrel bent 1 3/4 inch primaries, 3/8 inch laser cut flange, all ending in the 3-inch merge collector here, loaded with their merge spike technology. And this is just going to help increase exhaust velocity as the exhaust passes through the long tube. And on top of that, just absolutely perfect welds throughout. All the welds have been smoothed out really nicely inside the flange, so you're not gonna see a lot of exhaust turbulence, and just a rock solid build quality throughout. But why even look at a long tube header in the first place? Well, easy, to get more power and more sound out of your naturally aspirated or blown Coyote engine. Now, final power numbers will ultimately depend on a few different factors, such as your tune, your supporting mods, dyno conditions, things like that, but I would say anywhere from 15 to 20 at the tire would be a safe guess with a quality tune, but maybe even a little bit more with some larger supporting modifications. Now, for those who don't know, Kooks makes a killer header and just a killer product altogether. I've personally had the pleasure of walking around the Kooks production facilities, seeing how they do business, and I can say the gang down there in North Carolina really do take pride in their work because it shows in the final product, and that certainly is the case here with their Coyote header. And this does seem like a great time to mention again that the Kooks long tube headers that we have on this table will not include a mid pipe when ordering, meaning you're gonna need to pick one up from the drop-down menu in order to connect to your stock or aftermarket exhaust of your choice. Now, Kooks does have a few different options on the site, all X pipe based, but they do include an off-road version, meaning no cats whatsoever, a high flow catted version, and then finally their green cat, which is an EPA certified option and will alleviate the cat inefficiency codes that can sometimes pop up with other high flow cat options. Again, you're looking at about $1,000 for the long tubes by themselves, and those shorty mid pipes start at around $500 and only go up from there. So altogether, you're in it for about $1,500 or more, depending on what mid pipe you go with. Now what these things do come with, however, is brand new gaskets in addition to your Stage 8 hardware. Very nice stuff to have when it comes time to get these things installed. And with that said, let's briefly move on into the install here, because let me just say, it's certainly not gonna be fun. Listen guys, long tubes are always going to peg the difficulty scale at a full-blown 3 out of 3 wrenches, and the Kooks are no different here. And as far as your timeline, well, at least a day, but most people probably want to set aside a good old-fashioned weekend in the garage to get this one knocked out. On top of the time, you're also going to need a pretty burly set of tools to tackle this particular job, so just make sure you're not going into this one with a basic set of sockets. Now, in addition to that big old set of tools, a lift is certainly going to make life easier, guys. Believe me, you don't want to try this one on your back. I'm not saying it can't be done, but it just won't be very fun. Now, typically you're gonna find 3 schools of thought when it comes to installing long tubes. Number 1, drop the cane member to gain access. Number 2, support the motor and the transmission to remove the motor mounts. Or number 3, just take it to a shop. But in all seriousness here, guys, if you're not comfortable with this level of work, taking this one to your local speed shop would probably be the best bet. Gonna hurt your wallet a little bit, but it will save your knuckles in the long run. But in closing here, guys, if you're looking to stick with that smaller 1 3/4 inch primary, the Kooks will be an extremely well-made and great fitting option that you can check out right here at AmericanMuscle.com.